Hello, everyone. Am I audible enough, please?
Yes, please.
Okay. I wish I would be visible too, but there is no light around my area. So, okay. I guess people are joining. And we can see too our honorable guest speakers are active. So without much we do, I think we kickstart the event, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So we can start. Honorable greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this highly anticipated webinar on overcoming barriers and societal norms as a woman. I am Aida Balde, a second-year law student in Deshbagat University, India, and I'm honored to be your host for this event. And with me, I have my co-host, Mariama Aidara. Whether you are joining us across the country or around the world, we truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today, and not just to discuss about how we can overcome these barriers and societal norms, but also the why we should overcome these barriers and societal norms, not just as a country, but the world at large, if possible. This webinar is more than just a discussion. It's a space for learning, reflection, and also empowerment. So today, we come together to address the challenges women face, share experiences, and also explore actionable ways to break down barriers that have existed for way too long. We are joined by an incredible lineup of speakers, as you all can see, with their beautiful faces, who will provide vulnerable insights. And I humbly encourage you all to actively participate through the chat and also the question and answer session. Before we get into today's discussion, I want you to take a moment and think about this. Just think about this. How many times have you heard about the phrase, that's just the way things are when it comes to women navigating societal expectations? Too many, right? But here's the truth. Just because something has been a norm for generation doesn't actually mean it will remain that way, right? Yeah, obviously. So, and that's exactly why we are here today. So this webinar isn't just about identifying barriers, it's about challenging outdated expectations, redefining possibilities, and empowering each other to rise above limitations. So as we move, I encourage you all to listen, reflect, and most importantly, engage, because conversations like this doesn't just spark change, they fuel it. So with that said, let's dive in. So to set the stage for our discussion, let's take a minute and pray in our various ways, please. Just a 2 minute silence and pray in our various ways. Amin Allah. So before we go any further, let me call in my co-host, who is Mariama Aidara, to give us a brief introduction of herself, please. Mariama.
Okay. Um, am I audible?
Yes, please, you are, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, my esteemed host, for the wonderful introduction. Greetings, everyone. My name is Mariama Haidra. I am currently a second-year student pursuing a degree in BSc Nursing at PP Savani University, and I am your co-host for today's panel discussion. I am excited to facilitate our conversation on this very important topic about the overcoming barriers and societal norms as a woman. As you all know, women play a crucial role in nation building. Let me take example, likes of Miss Touray, and the list goes on. So today, there is so much we can learn from the speakers. I encourage you to jot down key takeaways and questions you may have. Now, I will hand over to my co-host. who will introduce our esteemed panelists. Ida, you may continue.
Thank you, Honorable Co-host. Now, to follow in the
You're
agenda,
welcome.
or today's agenda, we have the opening remarks by our Honorable Vice President of the Gambian Students Association in India, Madam Senabu Sanyang. Ma'am, if you are with us today, the floor is all yours, please.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so greetings everyone. Ida, is my screen like visible? Are you seeing me? Ida?
Yeah, you are audible. Yes, you are audible, but you are not visible, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why that. So I will give the opening remarks. So greetings everyone. On behalf of the 8th Executive Council of the Association of Gambian Students in India, it is a pleasure to welcome you all to this special edition of Gam-Ind's monthly webinar. This month we celebrate women and the incredible strength they bring to the world. We are here to have an open and important conversation about overcoming barriers and societal norms as a woman. As women, we all know that the path to success isn't always smooth, whether it's in education, careers, leadership, or even in our everyday lives. We face challenges that often try to hold us back. But what today is about is not just struggles, it's about resilience, empowerment, and breaking those barriers one step at a time. I am so excited that we have an incredible panel of women with us today. Women who have pushed boundaries, they have defied the expectations, and are leading the way for others. Their stories will inspire us, it will also challenge us, and remind us that no obstacle is too big when we stand strong together. To all the women and young girls here, this space is for you. And to all the men and allies joining us, we appreciate you being part of this journey because true progress happens when we work together. So let's make this session interactive, engaging, and most importantly, meaningful. Feel free to share your thoughts, ask questions, and take away something valuable from today's discussion. With that, I would like to welcome you all. And yeah, thank you all so much. Let's dive into the discussion.
Thank you so very much, our Honorable Vice President, for that warm and insightful welcome. Your words truly set the stage for what promises to be meaningful and impactful discussions today. It's always inspiring to be reminded of why we are here and the importance of the conversation we are about to have, right? Wait, that. So we are officially ready to dive into the heart of today's session. We have an incredible lineup of speakers who will be sharing their experiences, challenges, and also strategies for overcoming barriers as a woman in society, in our societies rather. So, but before we move forward, let's take a moment to acknowledge the amazing participation we have here today. Honestly speaking, or whether you are joining us from the country or across the country or in India or in the Gambia or wherever you are joining us. Thank you for joining us today. We are thrilled to have you with us. Now, let's get started. Let's go. So, next on our agenda, we have our honorable guest speakers that we have with us today. And first on the list is Miss Awa Toure. Just a little biography about Miss Awa Toure before we get started. Miss Awa Toure, a native of Kersering, the Gambia, has an impressive academic and professional background in social work, development studies, and health research. She obtained both a certificate and a diploma in social work from SOS RMATC in 2018. She earned her bachelor's degree in development studies from the University of the Gambia, graduating as a top student in her program in 2023. She furthered her education by completing an MSc in social research methods, focusing on health research at the University of Southampton, UK in 2014. Currently, she is pursuing a PhD in health sciences at the same university to deepen her expertise in health research. With over 7 years of experience in social science research, Our is dedicated to investigating and addressing critical health challenges, particularly those related to tuberculosis and fractures. She began her career as a research assistant at the Medical Research Council at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine in 2017. Her exceptional performance and commitment to her promotion to scientific officer, social science in 2022, a role she held until February 2024. Beyond the professional and academic achievements, Awa is a mentor to many young men from Kerseri, notably the current Secretary General of the Gam-Ind Association. She is also an active contributor to the Kerseri Village Development Committee (VDC), playing a crucial role in reviving the village's almost defunct health post. A woman of terrific intellect and unwavering dedication. Who is this woman? A woman who is always willing to give back to her nation, using her expertise to drive meaningful changes in global health and social science. To you all, we present to you our beautiful and honorable Miss Awa Touray. Ma'am, the floor is all yours, please.
Wow. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, everyone from wherever you're joining us. I mean, that introduction. Ha. Thank you so much, Madam Chair, for that wonderful introduction. I am deeply humbled, to be honest, I am humbled. And I am deeply grateful for this opportunity, the invitation and everything. And I say a great thank you to the association. So as I join you today in this webinar, I am not just gonna speak as a PhD candidate or a scholar or everything that is in my biography, but I'll be speaking as a woman who faced and continue to face challenges in by societal norms and barriers that many of you may also encounter, because sometimes it's general. It might not be just me, but most of the women in the Gambia encountered the same. So I won't just be speaking about overcoming barriers, but shattering them. I believe we should smash and shatter the barriers by understanding how we can navigate and redefine societal norms that limit our potentials as women. Why should we do this? Why should we break societal norms that affect us as women? It's because the world doesn't need women who conform or comply to everything. The world needs women who challenge things. The world needs women who challenge status quos. So that is the reason why we really need to challenge these societal norms. So I would just set the scene by giving you what the societal norms and barriers are, like an understanding, just give a brief to enhance understanding on what societal norms are or what barriers are. So societal norms are visible rules that govern or guide how we think, how we act, and how we exist in the world. In a nutshell, the acceptable and the unacceptable behaviors in society. So for us as women, this norm often places us in a box that limits our dreams, our careers, and sometimes even our freedom. And that is the more reason why we should be shattering them, not just breaking them. So there are common barriers. I will start from the broad and then to myself. But right now I'll give you the common barriers women face in society. So the first is pressure on women to conform to traditional roles, like traditional roles. So women are assigned certain type of roles that they are compelled to take up or that they are compelled to conform to. Such roles include marriage, such roles include motherhood, maintaining the responsibility of the home. So I'm a big fan of tradition and I'm a big fan of culture. I'm not saying marrying at an early legal age is bad, but I believe striking a balance is really important. If you feel you can't combine two because one must suffer, either your education must suffer or your marriage must suffer. But if you believe you can handle both, well, that is wonderful. But as a human, if you believe you can strike a balance, while if you're gonna go with both, one must suffer. How about go with one and the other one? Because I always say marriage is not emergency. So motherhood too, the same thing. And maintaining household responsibilities, these are roles that are that are characterized by, like, traditionally by the role of women, because like you grow up in a household, you were with your brothers, but most of the I can say all the chores are assigned to you. You are brought up to be able to handle the household, not to be prepared to serve the society, or to reach your full potentials. And we have seen this in our homes. So prioritizing boys education to that of girls, probably this might not be very evident in the urban areas where most of us are from, but in the rural areas it is very evident. Even not just formal education, but education, chronic education. Mostly parents will send their male kids for chronic education, not the girls. So they believe our place is in the kitchen, but mind you, everyone's place is in the kitchen. At the all, we eat, all need food to eat. If you're hungry, you fix something for yourself. We all belong to the kitchen. So when they say women's role is in the kitchen, I tend to ask myself, whose role is elsewhere? Because we all need to eat at the end of the day. So in academia too, in academia, we are still underrepresented, and in leadership roles. A perfect example is our politics. A perfect example is our National Assembly, and how many people, how many women are are doctors or professors in the Gambia. So we are underrepresented in all these roles, and that is the more reason we should shatter these barriers, and that is the more reason we should smash them. So in African society, a woman's worth is measured by being a wife material. What if we are more than that? What if we can explore more than just being a wife material? So give sifting from the broad, I would just limit now to my own personal experience. So the first challenge I face as a woman trying to try, because when I was given this topic, I asked myself, where should I focus my talk on? Which barrier did I break? I settled with myself that, yeah, maybe I will talk about my educational journey, because I think that would be more like, I will have more to say with my educational journey than any other topic I come with. So with my educational journey, one thing I faced that was so challenging for me was finance. So I grew up, my childhood, I grew up struggling to pay for my school fees with my mother. Shout out to her wherever I am. This is why we should celebrate women, because like, shout out to her wherever she is. So everybody in catering knows me as a street vendor, a hawker. So at a very tender age, everyone knows my plate of groundnut. I sell everything, because people will tell me, oh, well, you sell everything. I said, thank God you never said I steal everything. So I sell mangoes. Our seasonal, whatever season comes, I will just go with it. Whatever season come, I'm a street vendor. I roam the area of Ketsering, and Bigelow knows what I'm saying, because it was not easy with my mom, and I feel like I needed to do something to help to fund my education. So but with that, selling with my mom and all that, things started to light up when a day I was going to buy fruits at the market, and I met this group of white people who saw a basin of orange on my head and asked if they can take a picture of me. So I said, wow, then we can strike a deal, because everyone knows how I am. I said, yeah, if you're willing to fund my education, yes, you can take my pictures. So they took my photos, but at that time they promised they would not be able to fund me, but they will see something to do. But after 2 years, then they came back to me to help fund my um, senior school, like to university, and to SRS, like all this journey was funded by them. So in court, we said free education for girls, but it's not real because the parents have to go through a lot for the child to go to school, because we were committing from catering tobacco every time going to school. So there's no free education. Your parents have to do a lot of things. The free education for girls, to me, it is just in court. Yeah, so this is one of the things I faced as a woman. Societal expectations. As I grew up, because starting from when I was a child, as I grew up, finance was not the problem, but the societal expectations, the societal expectation. What did the society expect from me? So I was juggling both working with MRCG, going to SOS, like I attend evening classes, even lectures. And while I was in the UTG too, I was attending evening lectures and I was working. So the expectation from my friends and close relatives were I should attend every event, like every social event, which I wasn't able to attend. And this cut ties with some of my close friends. But I tried making it up, explaining the problems, what I'm going through, but like they were in the position to judge and I was in a difficult position. Somewhere in a position to judge that I'm not sociable or whatsoever, but that was not the case. I had other priorities, and thank God now I strike a deal with everyone. I'm good with most of them. So marriage too, people, what are you waiting for? Are men not coming? Are they not knocking on your door? Sometimes you say these words thinking that that's it, but you leave something with the individual. Someone told me your mates are carrying their babies and you're carrying your bag. Just look at that. You're still carrying your bag. And someone, like, there's this a musician who said, men are knocking and menopause are knocking. You're running from both. You understand? There are a lot of quotes on social medias, memes that sometimes you put you in a funny position. Marriage is good. I'm not disparaging the fact that marriage is good, but if you can strike a balance, as me, I didn't do that. I was 27 when I got married, but during the juggling times from SOS, from university, and from MRC, I know that one might fail. I might fail in marriage, end up being a divorcee, or I might fail in my one part of my one part of my activities will fail. So that is it. And another thing I faced as an adult was the imposter syndrome, the self-doubt, the fear of failure. I felt that my achievements are not mine. I felt that, like, I'm a woman, I don't think I can do this, because when I saw my name at the top list of the development study students, I was like, what? This can't be me. We have men here who were not doing anything, just from home to school and to work. We have to include the household chores. So how can I be top? And I have this imposter syndrome, giving credit to things. And I said, no, it's just luck. But it might not be luck. It might just be my hard work. So doubting myself always. And I fear that I might fail because the achievements I got are not mine. Fearing that fraud was something that was really disturbing whilst growing up. And discouragement from society. When I decided to go to uni, and that was the reason why I didn't go to uni straight away. I went through SOS. I went through SOS. So, and people were like, education for women do not worth it, because at the end, they end up in the households. These are discouraging phrases. And education in the Gambia, particularly, it doesn't worth it. It's about whom you know, not who you know. So these are discouraging things that limits people's potential from pursuing what they want to. I always question myself. I felt like I was fighting an unending battle and from one challenge to another, but I persisted and navigated these barriers and ready to face if any should come in the future. Yeah. So how did I battle this? We said overcoming barriers. I said shattering them. So how did I overcome this? One thing that was really a great strength for me was starting and never quitting. So whatever I think of something to do, I don't take too long because I procrastinate. I think Sayo is here and he knows rather. So I decide quickly, I make quick decisions and start. And when I start, I feel like not quitting. So, what is the essence of starting when you want to do something? Because it's just like the Maslow's hierarchy of need. If one need is satisfied, you're always eager to go for the next need. So after my diploma, I was like, hey, I need a BA, I need a BSc. From my BSc, I was like, because it was tough, I said, no, this will be the last time, me, UTG, and like looking for bosses. Like it was so tough. I said, this is the last thing. Me, education again, don't mention my name. But at the end of the BSc, I was applying for masters. I didn't even realize that I was applying for masters. Like it's just like when one need is satisfied, you are always encouraged to go for the next need. And after the masters, it was hell me living in the UK for the first time as alone as a African or international student. I have a lot of challenges like hormonal imbalances and a lot of other things, illnesses. And I said, when I went back to the Gambia, I don't think I'm coming back. But yes, I need the PhD. I said, no, I'm coming back. Because that is human nature. When one need is not fulfilled, you hardly will be encouraged to go for the next. So what I would advise is just start. Like today, you can't tell somebody in the village who have not gone to nursery, primary, to have a PhD. How will they climb up because they have not started anything? So it will be very difficult. So networking was also another strength that helped me to battle the societal norms, because I joined different organizations, different societies. I joined Organization for Psychosocial Innovation, which was led by a woman, Guy Masise. So I joined the Home of Talent with a lot of girls that I worked with. So some of them inspire me, despite they were young, but they inspired me. I role model, like I saw someone I look up to. This My role model never knew that I was looking up to her, and still date never knew that I'm looking up to her. She is a scientific officer at MRC. When I knew her, she wasn't a scientific officer, but now she is a PhD holder, a higher scientific officer, I guess, or a research fellow. So I was always looking up to her, but she never knew. I tried connecting with her through somebody, but the first time I attempt it failed, so I relaxed. But I would still want her to know that I was looking up to her. Accessing resources was challenging. Like I said, I had trouble with finance. But wait, like you don't need the world to hand in opportunities to you. You don't need that. You create your own doors and work through them. When I knew that fares was a problem, like um, fares was a problem to go to school, I helped my mom in the business. I was working with her. When I knew that I can't fund my master's degree, I need funding for my PhD, I apply for scholarships, I apply for fellowships. Like resources is really cross-cutting, both male and female in the Gambia. No matter how difficult it is, you have to create your own doors and work through them. Just apply for scholarships. That is it. So self-empowerment, if the world refuses to empower you, empower yourself. If your confidence is lacking, try to build up your self-confidence. Have a belief, have a mission and a vision. So having a vision without a mission is just a daydream, but having a mission too without a vision is just a nightmare. So go, like, have aims and objectives and work towards them. How I overcome the internal barriers, like the imposter syndrome, fear of failure. You fear something and it is occurring constantly. So I applied for different scholarships, like different fellowships, and I was constantly getting rejection. To be honest, I memorized all the lines of rejection. Due to the high number of applicants, we regret to we are sorry we regret to announce that. So there was a time I memorized all the phrases. When an email popped up in my box, I will always be scared to open it. So I was scared of failing, but I was failing, so I just accepted that life goes with failure. So never doubt yourself. I was applying for master's courses. I end up getting a master's and a PhD combined. So with all that, I forgot all about the phrases. Later on, I all I see is your application was outstanding at the end. with all the sorries and the apologies that I
Sorry,
didn't get it, at the
sorry,
end
Miss
it was
Awa.
outstanding.
Sorry, Miss Awa. We are afraid we are running out of time. So if you could please,
Okay.
yeah.
So I would just fasten up. What was my commitment? What did I do after all this? So I mentor girls in my area. I help them secure funding. I've secure 11 funding with African Muslim Relief Response Agency. I secure one for Gambia College. I secure one for a student in a skill center. I secure one for right now I'm in a progress for helping a UTG student secure a scholarship. I help them in public speaking and leadership role, taking exemplary role like the VDC, which is predominantly a male role. What that was assigned by like society assigned that to like male, but I was taking part and the society saw me doing that, and that was that is a source of like a form of encouragement to girls. Like, what do I envision? I envision a world where everyone, regardless of where you come from, as a woman, reach their full potentials. But we can only do this um, if we work together and rise together. The future is a female, and we need to create it. So I'm calling every woman to action. Let us not allow anyone or anything tell us who we are. Let us not allow anyone define our future for us. We are the author of our own story. So solidarity between women is really important, because we are the sister-in-laws, we are the mother-in-laws, we are the wives, and we know how these groups sometimes make help for other women. So women supporting women, we can create incredible things. And men supporting us, we are not your rival, we are not your competitors. We just want to grow together. So that is really important. I urge you all to take charge in your own destiny, break barriers, break change, break societal expectations, smash everything that have to hold you back. Pursue your dreams unapologetically. Don't be apologetic for having a dream. Don't be apologetic for having a goal.
At the International Economic Cooperation Division, IEC, and an assistant to translation and interpreting division, IT, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In 2019, she served as the Ministry of Youth and Sports of the Republic of the Gambia as a senior assistant secretary before she moved to the office of the vice president in 2020. For 2 years, she was redeployed to foreign service in 2020 as First Secretary at the European Affairs Directorate and National Focal Person for the International Organization of the Francophone, IOF. Mrs. Penda is also the country representative and endo warrior for a non-profit organization called Let's Fight Endometriosis. The Gambia, which was founded in 2017 to fight against the stigma attached to infertility caused by endometriosis. In 2023, she successfully completed an executive master's in global public diplomacy and sustainable diplomacy, jointly organized by UNITAR and Louis School of Government in Rome, and now she's currently pursuing her MBA International Business at the Manav Rahna International Institute of Research and Studies in India. I encourage all of us to listen attentively, take notes, and engage, because learning from someone of Mrs. Penda's caliber is an opportunity we don't want to miss. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's always an honor to join you when you're having such platforms and talks. Last year, it was a success, and I'm really honored to join you this year as well. Well, the barriers are countless for us women. I have a particular barrier that I have been fighting against, advocating against, and educating young women against or on since, let's say, my early 20s. So it's always an honor. And I'll take this opportunity to talk about that particular barrier, because I wouldn't want to just go ahead and talk about the endless barriers that we face when we have something that we've been experiencing and know very well. My barrier would be endometriosis. I've talked about it on your platform several times, but as long as a cure is found, I think this is something that I should continue talking about. I am not a health personnel. I am a socialist, a diplomat, but I am a woman and an endo warrior. Endometriosis is a condition which in cells similar to lining of the uterus or endometrium. It grows outside of the uterus. It is often, it always involves the pelvic tissue and can develop envelope, sorry, the ovaries and fallopian tubes. It can affect nearby organs, including the bowel and the bladder. It is vital to note that it is one of the leading causes of infertility in women, and not rap or shaitan or the devil, as most narrow-minded men will tend to believe. Now, I will talk about what endometriosis has slowed down in my life, to name just a few. It slowed down me obtaining a master's degree for financial reasons, for health reasons. It slowed down my success in marriage. It slowed down me conceiving and having my own biological children. It challenged me financially for a 38-year-old woman, um, investing and helping others in my life. It challenged me socially, for endometriosis can make you stay in bed for like more than 8 days every month. So prior to menstruation, during ovulation and all that. So it has slowed me down, but it has not stopped me. As an endo warrior and a diplomat, I recognize profound impact that social norms and barriers can have on individuals living with this often misunderstood condition. We call it a condition, we do not call it a sickness. My journey has taught me that awareness and education are paramount in dispelling the stigma surrounding endometriosis. But also, I believe together we must challenge the misconceptions that minimize the serenity of chronic pain and reproductive health issues. By fostering open conversations like this one, which I applaud you for and I appreciate a lot, sharing personal stories and advocating for comprehensive health access, especially in the Gambia, because in India, I am fortunate and blessed to be here, posted by my government and benefiting from healthcare facilities that other women suffering from endometriosis or sister conditions cannot benefit from. We can empower those affected to seek support and treatment. As a diplomat, my role extends beyond personal advocacy. It involves collaborating with policymakers, healthcare personnel, and community leaders to dismantle institutional barriers, like what we used to do in the Gambia with Let's Fight Endo Gambia. Every month of March, which is this month, it is so special. It's not just about me being a woman, but I'm an endo warrior as well. We would go from door to door, from radio station to radio station, from TV station to TV station into the communities and spreading the word about the stigmas attached to endometriosis. My team is still active and in the Gambia and are doing fantastic job in the prison service at Tanka Tanka, because being a woman only is something. Being a woman now, dealing with mental health and dealing with endometriosis, and that is something that no normal woman can support. Now, being a woman and going through your menstrual cycle is something. If you want to be a woman in prison, dealing with your menstrual cycle and endometriosis, that you are a superwoman. I thought that it is very important that we all support these women in enclosed areas that they do not choose to be at. But also going through womanhood. We all support them mentally, financially, or whatever we can do for them. This collaboration aims to ensure that women and those assigned female at birth receive not only recognition, but also the appropriate care and resources they deserve. Every woman deserves support. Let us unite to create a culture of understanding and support where individuals can thrive regardless of barriers stopping them from striving, such as health challenges. Together, we can pave the path towards a future where endometriosis and its sister conditions is recognized and treated with seriousness it warrants, ultimately leading to improved lives and well-being for all. Like in the UK, I have heard that in 2 to 3 years back, endometriosis and its sister conditions have been recognized as a disability. And women that are going through conditions like it are supported by government. So a bill was passed. You, as a woman, should always know that you have God, have a very strong mindset, be very courageous, not to allow anything to stop you. When you have that combined with a strong support system like family, society, our children, our husbands, our brothers, then nothing can stop you. Refusing to be stopped, that is what I actually mean. Recognizing that trying and not succeeding is not failure. Real failure is not trying at all or restarting all over again when things do not go the way you want it. You're all appreciated. Thank you very much.
That was so insightful and so incredible. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Penda. That was inspiring, and I hope all of us here will have something to take away with. Okay. So without much ado, we are moving on to the agenda. But let me call on my honorable co-host and see if she has anything to say regarding what Ms. Penda has said. Any contribution from your side, Mariama?
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your profound experience and perspectives on navigating societal norms. Your insights into Indo warrior, wow, like it's it's uh, it's identify as an Indo warrior reflects the strength and resilience, you know, inherited into those battling endometriosis connected with others or who share similar experience can provide valuable support. Thank you for doing that, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ida. You can
Okay.
continue.
So moving on to the agenda, we are having our next honorable guest speaker, Miss Fatou Mbye. Miss Fatou Mbye will be our next guest speaker, and let's all be ready to hear what she has to say. And I will invite my honorable co-host again, Mariama, to give us a brief rundown and biography about Miss Fatou Mbye. Mariama, you are welcome. Miss Fatou, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, thank
Miss
you.
Fatou is here.
Okay, okay. Uh, it's an honor to introduce you, ma'am. Miss Fatou Mbye. Miss Fatou Mbye, a scholar in gender and management studies, is a graduate in Masters of Public Sector Management at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, and a bachelor's degree in development studies and management at the University of the Gambia, with advanced training in gender-based leadership and community development at the Management Development Institute. Mrs. Fatou held a higher teacher certificate from the Gambia College and taught for a couple of years before enrolling for her bachelor's program at the University of the Gambia. Currently, she is serving as a principal management trainer on gender and leadership at the Management Development Institute, and also double as a consultant with Center for Policy, Research and Strategic Studies, CEPRAS, especially on assignments relating to gender mainstreaming in public sector institutions, workplace gender diversity and inclusion, and development of gender policy, office management, and effective skills for public sector officials. Gender mainstreaming in projects, circle management for EU project funded program, and perform-based management. She also served as an adjunct lecturer at the University of the Gambia, where she lectured Introduction to Gender Studies. Furthermore, Mrs. Fatou have consulted with several institutions in public sector and private sector institutions. Example, National Audit Office, National Disaster Management, local government, local government, sorry, Okay. Um, for disaster management, local government, national aid, the Gambia, Ministry of Agriculture, UNDP, Gambia, etc., to develop gender policy, National Women's Bureau, now the Ministry of Gender. The security service in security sector reform and provided leadership and management training to senior level across this institution over the past decade. In fact, currently, Mrs. Fatou is part of the consultants who just finished working with National Audit on Gender Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Project funded by Intosel Development Initiative, IDI. Recently, she also got an award for E4 for Life Fellowship in October 2022 to pursue a PhD in Sustainable Development, especially on gender equality. Dr. Christopher Colley, her Noble Supervisor at the Amachi Labs. There are few people who leave a lasting mark on their industry, and Mrs. Fatou Mbye is undoubtedly one of them. We are fortunate to have her here to share her knowledge and experience with us today. Ma'am, here you go.
Thank you very much, Mariama, for that I can say very long in biography.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Madam Penda, for that touching discussion that you just completed. And also thank you to our Touray. Congrats to everything that that you have achieved so far and more ahead, inshallah. Um, it is indeed an honor to be part of this dynamic group to discuss about how we'll be able to overcome the barriers and the social norms that we face as women. Women, as we know, actually goes through different and a lot of social barriers, social norms, traditional beliefs, traditional practices, and the list goes on. So all this creates setbacks for the advancement of women. And it has long been um, a challenge to overcome these barriers. But I think as women, when we come together with our allies, we will be able to overcome these barriers in a very dignified manner. Um, Talking about the barriers, our discourse about understanding the societal norms, I think that is a very important point. Before moving into my story, we as women, we need to understand what these social norms are. What are these barriers? Because if not, no matter how we campaign, no matter how the sensitization, we as women ourselves will not be able to take it seriously. Because if you don't understand where you are and actually the situation in which you find yourself as a woman, you need to understand that particular situation. Know who you are, know what you want, know what is lying ahead of you. Know that you are an individual who needs to contribute to the development of yourself first, development of your own family, and now you expand that development to the society, to the communities in which you find yourself. But not knowing what these social norms are, we think that it is normal. Sometimes we think that it is normal. Women are born to be the cooks. Women are born to be the bearers of household responsibilities and etc. Sometimes even when you talk to certain women, they will tell you, oh, it is something natural for us to do. So that is why it is important that we know what these norms are. We know what are the barriers that are attached to these norms, so that we'll be able to design ways in order to be able to break them. It is not something like an easy track, because dealing with a cultural belief, dealing with a traditional practice is the most difficult change that you can anticipate for, because it involves what? Behavioral change. So that behavioral change, for it to come at once, it becomes difficult. So it is a gradual process. Okay? And I think that as Gambians and the Gambia, we are on the right course, because looking at the advancement of women over the years in the country, where did we start? Who were these prominent women who laid the foundation for women to be able to be educated, for women to be able to get jobs, for women to be able to take part in forums and etc. Those women have really done their part. Okay, like in the lights of Louis Njie, the lights of Elizabeth Renner, the lights of Aissatou Njie Sedi, and others, and you name them. These people have really actually laid the foundation, like a springboard for other women to stand on it and be able to achieve. Because society is dynamic. And for you to penetrate society, there are ways that we need to do. Okay, so challenging these barriers, it is not a fight. It is not actually a fight. It is a gradual process. And with sensitization, with education, we will get through. We will surely be there. Okay, so breaking these barriers, particularly, I will focus first at the workplace, and I will give my example from the work environment. When I finished my higher teacher's certificate, I become a teacher, one of the youngest teachers in the school by that time, teaching a junior secondary school. I was like, if you see me with my students, you will think that we are of the same age, because of my size and everything, and the age difference was not huge that much, you know. So it's like, after having that experience, then come to my mind, this higher teacher certificate should not be something that I should stop at. I need to move forward. Then come to the dream of going to the University of the Gambia. So I applied, and then luckily, I got admission. So I came back to the school where I was serving, with my letter of admission, very happy, to share the idea with my then principal. So I went to his office, discussed with him that this is it, and I want to go and start the university. For that day, he didn't say anything till now, the time when we need to start the semester. So I went back to him, informing him that we'll be going, and then let the timetable be designed in such a way that it will allow us, to have that teaching lesson, and then also be able to be going to the university. To my surprise, he said it will not work. This is what you do, you small teachers. How can you come, spend 2 years and you want to go to the university? It will not work, you know. So I said, fine. When I went home, I sat down and then I think through. I said, okay, I think this man is trying to test my challenge, test who I am or whatsoever, because the desire I have, I'm not seeing anybody to stop it. So I went straight to the university. I started my lectures, started my classes, And then he came and then was telling me, okay, your salary will be stopped. I said, fine, no problem. Let it be stopped, So I never got discouraged. So I moved through the university. Luckily, I got a scholarship from the Taiwanese, embassy. And then I pursued my first degree. Finished with that, then I said, wow. The days of my university was kind of very challenging because as a young woman, I was expected to be at home cooking and stuffs like that, which actually to me, yes, I can do. And I have been doing, but now I have something that those days the university was very difficult. moving from Iceman, walking down to the faculty building, going down to GTTI, moving around, old library, having lectures everywhere. It was so difficult, and I was living all the way in Mbye. When will I reach? It was always at night. Okay. So unfortunately, I can say unfortunately in another part, I lost my mom at an not very early age, but at least to where I was about to at least get admission to university and all whatnot. She really tried for me. I can say, in fact, she's the one who educated me. My story is that of kind of similar to that of ours. Mine is that early morning she has to make pancake. When I was in primary school, I will carry the pancake into the nearby homes, sell them quickly, get back, dress, and then go to school. So that is how we were living. So at the end, she was a nurse, but at the end of the day, she also, because the salary was so meager that it was difficult to take care of a family and support the educational cycle of your children without having any add-on finance. Okay. So I continue with my university, completed, and then I move. Okay, so pursued my master's degree and then come back to the Gambia, continue to work. Okay, so now pursuing my PhD, I can say that it was one of the most beautiful journeys because it is something that is very, it is an experience that nobody can tell anyone except you involved into it. When I talk to my husband about that I want to go to India to pursue a PhD and the like, he gave his full support. Yes, you can go. you know it is a challenge that has come, and you have to we have to take it up. It is something that all of us have to give you the support, and then you go and do your best. We'll be here giving you the backup support that you need. Sorry. So I came, and then leaving my children behind, talking to some of my colleagues, they will tell me, yow li nga def nii noo ko munee, naka nga bàyyee sa njaboot gi, ah jàngi jigéen jar na lii, naka nga bàyyee sa doom yi nga ne yow da ngaa dem jàngi lii mooy lan, sa xale kan moo leen a toppatoo, so many things, and then at the end I got confused, but there is always this man in my life who is my boss. We work in the same office, Mr. Seh Omar Fai. When I consulted him, Mr. Fai, this is what I'm going through. He said, look, Fatmata, this is something that we don't have to leave. We have to go. Hence, your husband gave you the support. I will give you the full support. We are going together. So don't worry. So that's why women, no matter how you want to develop yourself, there must be that push factor. Because once you listen to the society, once you listen to some fellow women of yours, you will not make a move. But if you have that ally, if you have that husband who is supportive, if, for instance, you have that male figure who is a boss to you, who is also giving you another support, a brother, a mentor, you always say to yourself, Alhamdulillah. Because women's contribution to societal development, to the development of the society, to the development of the family is immense, because we are role models. So many people look up to us without telling us. That's why I like that side of Awa when he said he has a mentor, and that person didn't even know that, that Awa is looking up to. I like that. And we have so many. It is not through challenging, like being rebellious. No, it is in a professional manner, with advocacies, men, I can say that my topic is on gender equality, but I'm looking at the men. How will men be able to support women empowerment? Transformational allyship is what we need. And that's basically my research topic. How will the men be able to take up, the challenge, lead the women, be allies to women's advancement, be allies to their developmental initiatives, give them the support. Because whatever a woman has, she brings it back to the home, whether it is on herself, on her family, and even the in-laws, even her own parents. So it is important that we give women this particular support, which is very, very much needed. Society needs to move. And it is just like the two wings of a bird. A bird cannot fly with one wing. So society cannot develop with one gender. That is the male. We need to work together as partners, as counterparts, as brothers and sisters, as mentors particularly, as allies, so that women, we will see them, we will develop the country, Gambia, side by side. If we want to talk about gender issues, women, social norms, I can go on and on and on and on. Like there was a time I had a child, and then one of my neighbors told me, you de fog na nga am pursa sisa digi gannaaw bi. I said, why? He said, I've never seen you carry your baby on your back. Just see that. As a mom, she said, she has never seen me backing my child, put the child on my back. All what I do is, take the child to our main house, go to work, come back, collect the child. Even if I am at home, they will not see this child on my back, and it's a woman, So women who are working actually need support of other women, need support of the men themselves, because if you listen to so many of those things that your neighbors have to tell you, that the family members have to tell you, your advancements will be at stake. You will not move, because they will bring in issues of, the best place for a woman is to get married. Sometimes you need to sacrifice a lot. Sacrifice for the family, sacrifice for yourself to be there. It is not like competition or whatsoever. No, but you sacrifice everything. Okay? Sacrifice, for the tomorrow of your own children, for the tomorrow of the nation. Because that is how I will say it. Because women, we have a role to play nationally, in a society, and even in the communities in which we find ourselves. So it is the collective responsibility of everyone. You have a girl child, support the child. We are lucky that in the Gambia now, a lot of issues are changing regarding, particularly in terms of education. I always say this. When my cousins will tease me, I will tell them, man fana fana bujangala. That is what I will always tell them. And I am proud to be a fana fana who is educated, because looking at where I am coming from, the education of the girl child, that's a nightmare. You don't even see it, It's very difficult, especially in the rural areas. Visiting them, you see the girls, early marriage and all whatnot, and it is something that you can change, but how can you change it? It is not through rebellion. It is through what? Sensitization. Talk to the people, talk to the mothers. These mothers are very, very important to make changes. They can effect the changes. Because as a mother, if you stand and said, my child has to be educated, obviously, no matter how strong the father is, at the end of the day, will see the fact, the reality that you are talking about. Okay, so with these words, I would like to say that let us look at let us build confidence as women. Let us build the needed confidence. Don't say that, don't have that personal, fear in you. Don't think that you cannot do it. You can do it. Let us explore the sciences. Let us explore the sciences. Let us explore research. It's very important because it is through research that we can come up with solutions. Social science research, fine, scientific research, technology. Let us take those platforms. Let us look at the digital wall. Okay, let us take charge. Not saying that the digital environment is not for us. Let us challenge ourselves. Take up the challenge. Have that confidence in us. And then I think also with the support of the men, we will be able to move the country to the destination where we want it to be. So with these words, I say thank you. And then it is indeed a pleasure to share my ideas on this platform. Thank you.
Whoa, that was absolutely incredible. Thank you, Mrs. Fatou Mbye, for sharing such a powerful and deeply moving message. Your words have truly resonated with us all, and I know many people in this room or on this platform are feeling inspired and empowered right now. That's just the fact. One thing that really stood out to me was when you said women, we have a role to play both nationally and in the society, you see. And that's a reminder that we are precious as women. Honestly, we are precious. And it's moments like this that remind us why these conversations are very, very important. So thank you, Mrs. Fatumbai. That was absolutely incredible. So to move on to the agenda, next, we have the question and answer session. But before we move to the question and answer session, I personally have questions for uh, each and every speaker. That's Mrs. Fatou, Mrs. Awa, and Mrs. Penda, if possible. Yes. And my first question will go to the first speaker, which is Mrs. Awa. Mrs. Awa, this question is particularly for you, and your contribution will be appreciated. Okay, it goes in your opinion, Mrs. Awa, in your personal opinion, what are the most restrictive societal norms holding women back today? May I repeat it, please? In your opinion, in your personal opinion, what are the most restrictive societal norms holding women back today? Thank you.
Okay. I think to answer that question might be individualistic. Like, in my opinion, the most the norm that is restricting the women the most is the women belong to the kitchen. Because if that is saved since your childhood, you can't break through, or it will be very difficult to break through it. So, if society should continue to believe that women belongs in the household, not contributing to their own development or social development, or doing wonderful outside the household, I think that will be the most restricted norm that is caging women. Yeah.
Thank you so very
Eh,
much.
well,
That was brilliant. That was a very, very brilliant answer. So,
Ida,
yes,
can I can I come in?
yes, you can, sure.
Oh, okay. I also have a question for Auntie Penda. Auntie Penda, I would like to ask you, what advice do you have for women who always second guessing themselves in the society?
Um, I'll be very happy to answer that question. Well, I have one advice. You cannot stop society. The biggest setback we have as women is the society itself. Already, we are some sort of satellite for all sorts of barriers and problems. We are the backbone of the society. That already is very heavy. So, as a woman, self doubting yourself and allowing whatever is being said or done to break you, as I said whilst I was doing my talk, is just trying and failing and allowing people to draw you down and not being able to pick yourself up. You're the only support system that is assured. Even if you are well surrounded, people will go, people will come, people will go. You will have the support system. They might move, they might die, God forbid, but you are the only support system that you have that's permanent. Always wake up in the morning, pray to God, who is your number one, let's say, pillar. Look at the mirror and give yourself some words of encouragement. Nothing can stop me. I am very beautiful, I am very smart, and I'm not stopping.
Period.
Wow. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. You just boost my confidence. Like, I can do it. I'm strong. I mean, thank you so much. Ida.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you just have such beautiful and incredible young
Ida,
women
you know,
today.
today is our day. Today is our
No,
day.
today is our day, Mariama. Honestly, with all these incredible
Swear.
women with us today, is actually our day. Okay, our next question now, and my next question will go to Mrs. Fatou Mbye. Mrs. Fatou Mbye, this question is particularly for you, and it goes: what advice will you give to young women struggling with gender-based barriers in their personal and professional lives today? To repeat, what advice will you give to young women struggling with gender-based barriers in their personal or professional lives? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I can say that women in certain societies, since day one you are born as a woman, you start moving with the societal and social norms and cultural barriers. You face them. Some from childbirth, you started facing these norms. But all what I would advise these young women are not to relent, you know, be resilient, have that self-confidence that you can do it. You see, when you have the confidence that you can do it, nothing can stop you. Okay? Yes, you might have blockers along the way, but don't even, give them the space. Know what you want and go for it. Go for it in the most dignified manner. I always encourage education and skills development. We all have the brain, we all have the senses, we all have the hands and everything. So, what is needed is to give ourselves the time as women. As young women, give yourself the time. Tell yourself that if A can do it, B can also do it. And what about you? So there is no excuse for you not to do it. Like our mentioned earlier, seek for funding, seek for scholarships. Don't be lazy. Don't be at your little corner and you think that it has to come to your corner and meet you there. No, you have to be bold. Go out there, get it in the right manner. Seek for those scholarships. Develop yourself. It is never too late. It is never too late. Even if you fall, stand up and gather yourself. It is not where, what makes you fall, but where you fell is the issue, and how you will be able to gather and push it when you get up. That is the other issue. So I encourage people to be confident always. I always tell people to be resilient because whatever you want, you have to show resilience because that's where we are now in the world. You have to show that resilience. Keep pushing and it will come. It will come because always give myself that thought that hadn't been that I've stopped at the higher teachers level certificate, then I will not go to the university to have a bachelor's. And hadn't been that I stopped at the bachelor's level, I will not talk about master's. And hadn't been I stopped at master's level, I will not have the confidence or the courage to pursue a PhD. So this is how the world goes. Let us not be lazy. Let us not just think that we are out there as women and men should take care of us. Some women have this mentality. that once you are a woman, your responsibility is on the man. And let me tell you, wake up from your slumber. You see, these men in this platform today, none of them wants a lazy wife. None of them wants a wife who is going to totally, wholly and solely depend on them. They will want you to support them in their endeavors as they will support you in your endeavors. So you work with these men, your husbands, as partners, not as dependents. Because the more you depend on a man, the more fed up he goes, and the introduction of gender-based violence now will come into the household. Because even if it is sold, you will wait for him when he close for him. Nijay horam bi jeex na di, nijay maj amut. So we need to change from that, you know. Go out there, do it. Even if it is going to be a small business, start it, it will work. So that is my encouragement and that is my advice. I hope it answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Fatou. That was so hilarious and so educative as well. Thank you so very much. My question is well answered. Okay, so before we open the platform for questions for our guest speakers, I would want to say this one thing. Like, to me personally, I think one of the biggest societal barriers is sex education. Personally, one of the biggest societal barriers is sex education, especially menstruation. Especially menstruation, yeah, because I think that menstruation is not like in our households, to be particular, our mothers think that to speak about menstruation is a taboo. You see, our young girls have not been given that education they need to know about their body before they reach the stage of menstruation. I have when I was in 12th grade in St. Peter's, I was a senior prefect and I was given a class to take care of. I was in charge of a class. That was the grade 8. They were like at age range of 13, 14, 15, and they know nothing about menstruation or how to take care of their bodies. You see others will come to school, they'll have stains all over their skirts, and they are sitting with boys in class, they'll be laughing at them, making fun of them. It was so embarrassing. So I have to push up myself. Even me personally, I wasn't given that education I need about menstruation in my household, because I had most of the education at school and not in the house. So I have to be strong for them, be there for them. In fact, even though I was a student like them, but I have to be there for them. I gave them some of the knowledge they have to know about menstruation. Then every Friday we will play this game of a sort of. I'll tell them to take a piece of paper and write what they are facing or what are the challenges they are facing in their households. Others will write things like they have been molested by their brothers, they have been molested by their kids. If they don't know anything about menstruation, if they want to speak about menstruation in their household, their mothers will be like, "Yo, no pin, you hamlo ne bena gur, what hamlo." It take a day la. Others are using cloths. If they are on their menstruation, they use cloths. And their mothers will be like, those clothes they use, they should not hang it in the bathroom. They should hide it under their beds or behind their wardrobes. No boys will see it. These are things that we need to fight for. These are barriers that we need to remove in our societies. Our young girls have to be properly educated about their body to know more about this menstruation issue. So you see, some of them are having infections like the yeast infection, the vaginal infection, they itchy a lot. They are facing all kind of problems regarding their body because they don't have that education they're supposed to have at home. Our mothers are thinking that these things are not supposed to be talked about in our households because they have brothers and their fathers. They are seen it as a taboo. So me personally, I think these things are this thing, sex education, most particularly menstruation, is one of the biggest barriers in our household and in our societies. Yeah, that's just it. So I don't know what our guest speakers have to say to add on to that. If they don't have anything, Miss Penda, Mrs. Penda, your hand is up, please. Yeah.
Yes, actually, I just want to concur with what you're saying because the topic that I was talking on is directly relating to menstruation and menstrual education. Endometriosis starts mostly as soon as your period comes. So imagine a girl at 12 years old. You're not educated about your menstrual cycle, how the pain should be, at what level, how to take care of yourself. And then when it is endometriosis, that pain is times 10. If you are not living with a mom, an auntie, or a sister who is curious enough or informed enough to be informed as to what it is to be talked about for hygiene, for menstrual pain management. You wouldn't even know you have endometriosis when it is already late. By the time you get married, trying to conceive, trying to get diagnosis, which is not done by normal doctors, it is done by true diagnostic laparoscopy, which is extremely expensive in the Gambia. You will have to go all the way to Dakar or come to India or go to Turkey and spend thousands of dollars to just be diagnosed. And the management is not yet there. Your lifestyle has not changed, because it will involve you changing your diet, buying expensive medication. If you want to conceive in the future, it will involve IUI if it's not too late, stage 1, stage 2 endometriosis. When you're stage 3, stage 4 endometriosis, you will need IVF. If those things fail, you would want to save yourself from cancer, you will have to be thinking about hysterectomy, a partial hysterectomy or a complete hysterectomy, which is very expensive. So if you start being educated on menstruation, the pain, the early stages, all that, you will be saved from what some of us have gone through. So I will concur with you and applaud that.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Penda. So, Mrs. Fatou, your hand is up to maybe hear from you, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Penda, for shedding light on that. Ida, we have so many issues that we hide from our girls. Not only the menstruation. There was a day a particular girl walked into my office and then asked me, Madam, I normally hear people talk about FGM, but which part of my body is removed? I don't know. I said, you don't know and you are at the university. He said, yes, I don't know which part of my body is removed. I said, okay, now it is not even anything hidden. Google it. Go to my laptop. Sorry, my desktop. She used my desktop and then she saw. Then she started crying. Because it was done to her at an age that she cannot even remember. So now she was telling me, this is no wonder. The reason why I am going through all these pains that I am going through. You know. So even apart from the menstruation, again, even the sexual life, we don't talk about it at home. We see it as a taboo. We only leave these girls to grow up, explore for themselves in society, whatever they come across with. They experiment, they do everything. And let God forbid, when the person comes home with pregnancy, we start shouting. But did you prepare her before she goes to the society? We don't. Because it's a big taboo. You don't talk about that. You don't talk about sex-related things. No. Nobody should mention it, which is causing a lot of harm. Most of these teenage pregnancies that you are seeing, it is the one causing it because you don't know. Like the woman who was advising her daughter, don't allow men to touch your breast. Don't allow men to touch your breast. So when the girl got pregnant, the girl came home. The mom saw the pregnancy. How did you, mom, you said no boy touch me. So how did you get pregnant? Mom, you said it is through the breast, and I was keeping my breast. Nobody was touching it. But the most important part was not kept. So pregnancy came in. So that is why I said this generation in which we are, hit the nail on the head. Tell them, this is it. Take care of yourselves. Keep up to yourself. You might have men who might entice you outside, but if you do A, B, and C, this is the results. You will get pregnant. That is it. You know. So it is something that we have to talk over and over, enlighten these children, advise them. You know, it is not a fight. It is advising the child. Have that discussion so that tomorrow when the child finds herself or even himself, because the boys too are being exploited. The young boys are being exploited. They are equally vulnerable like the young girls. So we have a role to play as mothers. Let us talk to both our daughters and our sons. If you have these two people growing up together in your house, talk to them. Sit the boy down, talk to the boy. Before she will go and impregnate somebody's child, you have to talk to the boy. So that he will know the physiological changes that are taking place and etc. and what he should do about it. The same thing applies to the girl. If you do that, then at least you will think that now you are safe because your son will not molest your daughter in the house. Because now you will know that this is it. But if we fail as parents to do that in the households and we allow these children to go outside and explore for themselves, the result is always not good for us as parents. So let us break that barrier between our daughters. I have my cousins. I was amazed the day I visited them at home. The youngest one started seeing her menses. So when her cycle came, she went straight to the dad and said, Dad, my menses have started. I need a pad. I need cotton. And then the dad walked down to the pharmacy, buy it for her physically, and came and give it to her. So that barrier it is not there that men should not know about it. They should know. Fathers should also take their responsibilities. Don't leave everything with the women, saying that it is a taboo, I should not talk about it. No, because if you don't do, your fellow men outside will take advantage of your own daughters. So it's a collective responsibility. Both parents, let us counsel these children for their own benefit and for our benefit tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Fatou Mbye, and all our able guest speakers here. That was a very, very insightful speech. So now to move on to the topic, because we are actually running out of time. The next on the agenda, we have the Q&A session, and I would like to invite my honorable co-host Mariama to please take care of the question and answer session. Mariama, you are highly welcome, please.
Okay, thank you, Ida. We will open the floor for questions, so keep your thoughts ready. If you have questions, you can ask, and any of the panelists, they will answer you.
Yes, please. If you want to ask any question, you
Yeah.
can just
You
unmute
can ask.
yourself
Yeah.
and put the question to whosoever you want to ask the question to, and it will be answered. May we have Sheikh Omar Fai? Your hand is up. Sheikh Omar Fai, please.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, because that is the traditional way of greeting. Mine is not actually a question, but an appreciation and acknowledgement, a comment, and I'm very, very proud and elated over these powerful women who are assets of the Gambia. And not only the Gambia, I see them as universal assets that all of us should benefit from. We are very, very proud of you people. Hats off. I salute all of you. Very, very proud of you. I am very touched when I see your contributions. That is great of you. I'm not surprised. I'm seeing some familiar faces. Maybe I might have had an interaction with you before. Penda, no doubt, I know. For Fatou as well. But I just want to say that my role model is my mother. It's my mother. My mother is my role model. And I learned a lot from her. And I have realized that I see women as social libraries, not just liabilities. Women should not be seen as liabilities, but social libraries. Because the first teacher when you are born is your mother. That alone, I think, summarizes everything about why we are here today. And I just want to applaud you to continue the good work. For Fatou's experience that she shared, it is true, because it's good that you share experiences for people to know, just as you were saying. But I just want to say that three of you, from what I have seen, as you people have self-belief in what you are doing. Yes, like Penda mentioned about the endo fight that she did, and it became successful. Our being a hawker, struggling here and there, having the belief to say, let me try and get funds and work, and she gets what she wants. Fatou said, okay, I should not stop at the HTC, let me move ahead, and whether my salary is stopped, I'll have to continue to further my education. This is what we want for the Gambia. So I think this is enough. I don't want to take much of your time, but I just want to say that this is enough for all of us to learn from, and I congratulate you. I thank you very much for organizing this very important webinar. Thank you very much. Gerald and Jeff, thank you.
Mariama.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Fai, for that wonderful contribution. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Kumba, you can unmute yourself and ask the question that you want to ask to any one of the panelists. I can see many hands.
I think she's not available. We go.
It's not okay. Okay, Ibrahima.
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.
Yes, I believe, like, I have a question to ask because you people have, answered, I can say all the question, but I just want to thank our, speakers, Auntie Penda, Auntie Fatou, and then, let me say Auntie Awa. I have been calling her Mrs. Awa. Let me say Auntie Awa. Definitely, this has been so educative, to be honest, and we really appreciate all the shared here. And I believe, as you said, we the men also have a role to play in this. Definitely, we have to support women out there by helping them, sometimes talking with them. These are the ways that we can really help them. I can recount one thing that happened here. I went to an event, they gave me a part, and I was like, hey, this is a part, so I just take it as a social experiment. I just come and place it on my table. Sometimes when boys enter in my room and they look at it, they're like, what? Mom, what is this? So like it do suck them because for them they believe that women's like we should not know about those kind of things and things like that, which I believe is a thing of the past. And women sometimes do go a lot. Sometimes trusting you or having that still to talk to you as a male or as a support system, no matter, like maybe you can be a brother or a husband or whatsoever. Give them that room to discuss their issues with you. Those kind of things you can give them advice and even sometimes help them. But we always have the taboo that there are certain things we should not discuss. Like what Auntie Penda was talking about, and Auntie is a endo warrior. Definitely, like we should really help them because when they come to you as someone who knows about, when they disclose their problem, then there can be a solution. But when a problem is not disclosed, to find a solution will be very difficult. So therefore, let's always give them that room to come to us and then help us. And to Auntie Fatou, Auntie Awa, you people talk about something very important. Because most of the girls I talk to, because I always encourage girls, in education and things like that. Some of them like, Mo, man can bachelor visa, so again master's popular yamde. But no problem. Just get that master's. Because I know, like as you said, the Mansolo theory of need is very important. It will work. When you satisfy a need, like you'll be pushed to go for the other one. So that's why sometimes, some of them have that belief, and I'm really proud that you all take that, like let them just go for it. No matter, like even if you are not ready for the PhD, just go for the upper one. When you are done with that one, I believe you can go for the next one. Therefore, we are really proud, and we thank you all for your wonderful contribution. Definitely, we are really grateful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. President Gam-Ind. Thank you for that wonderful contribution. Okay. All right. Next, we have Mariama. Mariama, you can come in. I don't think she's available.
Yeah, I guess she's not available. Mariama Sedi, she's my mom actually. She's my mom. So I don't know whether she's available or not.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am, are you there?
Then she's not.
Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, we
Please.
can move on. Hello.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
welcome.
Welcome. Hello, guys.
You're welcome.
I'm so proud and happy. I'm saying thank
It's
you
our pleasure.
all, so educative. I'm thanking all of you, the guest speakers. I'm so proud of my daughter, Ida Balde. I thank you all. The only thing I can say, you guys, uh, the the guys that you invite to the program,
Ma'am, you're not audible enough. She's not audible enough. I think it's the network issues that she might be facing. Yeah. So that take us now to the end of our webinar. This was actually so. Oh, okay, Sina. Okay, that's fine. Sina, we may have you in, please.
That's my daughter, actually.
Uh, okay.
Hello, good evening to you all.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm very proud to be here, but there's something that I want to talk about. It's about girls. It's not about only educated, but most of the girls that on an early age that has a child, they get pregnant by wedlock. The society always discourage them from furthering their education, especially when you get pregnant in a household. They were telling you that now you don't have no future, no good future. I had everything you were saying, but it's very important to help those people that got pregnant in this early age. They should help them further their education, have a good future like others. Being pregnant, that does not mean that your life, your life is already been spoiled or you don't have a good future. And we need that. They need to further their education. The society need to help them. They do not need to be discouraged. They need to be encouraged. That's the only thing that I wanted to say, because I had everyone was saying, but it's important to help the teenagers that has a baby in a very early age. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sima, for that wonderful contribution. Okay. I think today we have learned a lot from the speakers. When you talk about resilience, consistency, never quit, and it's never too late. I was inspired by many women, their stories, who break the glass ceiling and achieve their goals. And I think we can also do it. All right. So I would love to call the guest speakers to do the closing remarks.
For the
We
closing
can
remarks,
start.
we have our
Yeah,
Secretary General, our
general.
welfare secretary. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
So we can start with Miss Awa, please. Miss Awa.
I would say a very big thank you to other speakers. Like, I am inspired, to be honest. Penda, anti-Penda, anti-Fatou, you all touch somewhere where I am inspired. Like, no one is an island, so it's something we should do collective. The issue of women empowerment, the issue of building women's confidence should be everyone's business, not just women, but even our allies. So I should also say it is an honor giving me the opportunity to share my story. And I'll say a special thank you to Mr. Fai. You have been instrumental in my journey too, because you were the first person to lecture me on gender, both at SOS, because I did the gender course twice. I did it at SOS and at UTG because it is a mandatory requirement, and I met with Mr. Fai on both occasions. So I would say a very big thank you to Mr. Fai. Yeah.
Mariama? Mariama? Okay, I think Mariama is not available right now. So let's hear from Mrs. Penda Kenya, because I was just rectified that I've been calling our panelists Miss. My humble apologies, Mrs. My humble apologies to all my panelists. I've been using Miss a lot, and all of you are Mrs. right here. So we next call on Mrs. Penda, please.
Yes, thank you. As for me, I will just reiterate my expression of gratitude to the Gambia Students Association for organizing platforms like this to break the barriers, create the opportunity for openness, exchange ideas, and encourage each other. This shows that university is just not staying in a classroom or being on your research paper, but also interacting, exchanging ideas, and preparing yourself to go back home and then implement what university, which I mean life, has taught you to change our societal norms and then break barriers. I am also very, 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 very proud of my daughter who happened to find out that there is a platform like this, my support system, to be here, also to know that there are great women and she can learn from them and be even greater. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Auntie Penda. So we would like to have Auntie Fatou also to give a closing remark.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Gam-Ind, your Students Association. You have really shown us that it is not only academics, but the social life of individuals also matter. And to all the girls out there, I think my daughter also has joined, and her friends and others. So sorry, I would like to say thank you to all of them, and thanks to Ibrahima and the team for giving me this opportunity. And the one who talked about, I think, is Sena. Sena talk about the girls who get children like teenage pregnancy and the like. So I can say that those are the people who actually needs to move on in life, because let them not see themselves as failures. It was just part of the journey of their growing up, and it was also part of their life. But that doesn't mean that society has to condemn them. They have a life ahead of them, and they should, take up the challenge, be confident enough, and then parents, everyone should give them the necessary support so that they will also continue on their educational career and then move successfully through the stages of life. So with that, I thank everyone on this platform, and I am very much happy and I appreciate the opportunity, and thanks a lot. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Fatou Mbye. And thank you, everyone. On behalf of everyone here, I extend our deepest gratitude to our distinguished panelists. They are wonderful. To be honest, when we started reading their biography, what we have read, that's what we've seen. Thank you so much. Ida?
Okay. Thank you so much on behalf of the Gam-Ind Association. I said thank you so much to our panelists. It was an honor having you all. So without much we do, we can call on our welfare secretary, Miss Majane, to give us a closing remark. Miss Manyima, if you are with us, please, you are highly welcome.
Okay, thank you, Miss Brother, for that wonderful hosting of this event. It was really a great pleasure to have this wonderful women with us.
Um, Manima, you are not audible enough. You are not audible enough, please.
Of blood and family, and all those that are around you are concerned of. I am one of them. Current social and medical security India, Gambia. As we come to the end of this insightful and inspiring webinar, I would like to extend my gratitude to our incredible panelists, Ms. Fatou Mbye, and to Penda at Ms. Penda Njie, I'm used to the name Auntie Penda, and Ms. Our Touray for sharing their knowledge, experience, and wisdom with us today. Their words have not only shed light on the challenges faced by women, but have also provided us with the motivation and strategies to overcome barriers and social norms. And my motto is to tell me if you listen to people speak and you don't take anything from there, you have wasted your time. In our world, women belong. In our world, women, the picture is the female. That's amazing. The picture belongs to the female. The female are the women. And it's so amazing that last year I co-hosted a webinar in this same ward march where Ms. Penda was invited and and in her word, men should support women. Supporting women is supporting the nation. That's what I took from her work last year. And this year also, what I took was let's not neglect, but support women that are in progress where they do not share particularly those with endometriosis. And independent is not a human rights activist, but a woman rights activist. One of my colleagues is one. And to meet starting by and to not drive me down. It's always challenging to have to be in society. This starting by is my mother from which was Congo Isaka. And to a special appreciation to our dedicated co-host and the co-host Ida Balde and Miss Maria Maharia Kaita, respectively, for sharing this discussion and so gratefully your efforts have ensured that today's conversation remain engaged and impactful. I will not be able to close this remark without and acknowledging Mr. Marfan and Mr. James from the Mahatma Gandhi Mission University, Aurangabad. And it's indeed a pleasure to have you people with us here, even though this whole topic was about women, but this men showed a very great interest in attending it. Mr. Umar Five, Islamic people, miss your physical presence. We hope to see you at the upcoming physical event, probably the students group. And to all attendees, your presence, engagement, and thought-provoking questioning made this webinar a successful. We hope you leave the field empowered and ready to challenge the norms that in the progress. Remember, every step towards empowering women in the society is towards better society for all. As Gam-Ind, we remain committed to fostering platforms that encourage dialogue, empowerment, and growth. We encourage everyone to stay connected, continue this important discussion, and support one another in young section. On that note, I want to again thank you all for being part of this meaningful discussion. Let's continue to uplift, inspire one another. Stay safe, stay empowered, but keep breaking barriers. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam Welfare Secretary. In fact, the best welfare secretary Gam-Ind has ever had. Thank you, Miss Mani Majane, for that wonderful closing remark. That brings us all to the end of the monthly webinar on the topic overcoming barriers and societal norms as a woman. So thank you all for your participation and your contribution. Thank you. A very big thank you to our panelists too for being here with us today. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. Thank you all so very much.